I am back, not with a Destiny video. I thought maybe I was going to do a TWAB reading video today, but there wasn't really a lot to talk about other than a very long section about airborne effectiveness and some hints about next season's sandbox patch. But instead, I'm going to pivot to doing a Summer Games Fest kind of reaction thing. I just spent 2 hours watching that premiere show, and like there's a couple shows that like kind of includes the Xbox show next week and stuff, and probably that is going to contain the biggest kind of reveals because we all assume Starfield is going to be there. This show had a lot of reveals and trailers and things. I don't know if there's any like crazy breaking news from this that is like kind of nothing that made me want to just run out and immediately write an article about it. So I'm just going to kind of go through the games that caught my attention. I'm skipping, I don't know, a lot of stuff that is maybe just not really my thing. And I just kind of want to go through in relative order, just sort of how I felt about different things they showed. We'll start with the first thing that really stood out to me was the Callisto Protocol, which is from the Dead Space team. You could tell that they're really going hard on the kind of ultra-violence and gore. I mean, Dead Space had some of that, but now we are, a generation or two later, and the potential for even gorier stuff has happened. So you saw, like, a guy get his face bitten off, and then some other guy fed into, like, a blender machine and stuff. I don't know. The only thing I'm, like, kind of wondering about is, like, Dead Space was good because of the atmosphere and stuff, but it also had this really central kind of gameplay mechanic of chopping all the limbs off things. And here, it's very violent, and you can shoot limbs off things, but that's not like the mechanic. So I'm wondering if there's something here that's going to like really make it stand out like Dead Space did, or if it might be a little more generic than that. But it's certainly something that I'm interested in, and I thought it was one of the better presented games of the day in terms of what they showed from actual gameplay. Speaking of actual gameplay, we had a lengthy section on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which some people seem to think is a remake of Modern Warfare 2. I saw someone was complaining that no Russian wasn't in it, and it's like, it's not a remake. It's like, I know it's called the same thing, but this is just Call of Duty naming, and they're just sort of like reimagining those characters and doing like a new thing, which is kind of confusing, but like I don't really care about Call of Duty continuity, so whatever. The good thing about this game is that this is where they've kind of upgraded the engine, or there's a new engine. I don't know. It looks a lot better. It does. The Call of Duty series was like aging pretty heavily, and now they're all going to be running on the same engine. And they showed us this really lengthy kind of ship sequence where it was an oil rig. So you take a ship or a boat to an oil rig, and then you shoot a bunch of people on the oil rig. And it was one of those, like, I'm going to play this very professionally things where you're, like, sneaking around corners and, like, doing little silent shots. And, like, no one really plays like that. But it was fine. There was a section in the middle where there's, like, crates going back and forth that reminded me of that when that was, like, a thing for 2 seconds in Destiny during the first Titan mission with the sliding crates. Looked a little better here. I will probably play this, at least the campaign. It's some multiplayer. I'm a big fan of the Modern Warfare series originally, so I'm kind of curious to see this update. I skip I skipped the last Black Ops game and the last World War II game. I did get into Warzone for a bit. They talked about Warzone 2, but didn't really show it. It was kind of confusing what they were saying about Warzone 2. I don't really quite understand what the plan is there for that, but it's separate from this, and this is going to be a very big launch for them. I know that the last game didn't meet sales expectations. What was it called? Vanguard? Yeah, Vanguard. And that didn't meet sales expectations, but I expect Modern Warfare 2 will really kind of light sales on fire, and then they're taking next year off. Still have the whole Microsoft acquisition thing mulling around. That is, I assume it's going to get approved, but then things will maybe start to look a little different under Microsoft's, because I think Call of Duty fatigue is a very real thing, and they know it, so we'll see. Then they had Witchfire, which I wrote it down, and now I can like barely remember what it was. Oh, that was the one that kind of looked like it was like Victorian era. I don't know, like you have guns, but you're shooting like demons and knights and stuff. So I think it was like I saw like Elden Ring with guns. It looked interesting. There was some definitely some cool things in that preview that looked fun, and it seems like something I could check out if it reviews well enough to be worth my time. I don't know. We'll see. Like, that's a game that seems like it could have potential, but I would have to kind of hear really good things about it to kind of really pay attention to it. Then we were interrupted by a special message from The Rock, who, God love The Rock, where whenever he shows up at something like this, it's like a countdown until he's cross promoting something. Here he's cross promoting two things: his own energy drink line and his new role in Black Adam, which just debuted a trailer, and then they showed the trailer, and then he talked about Black Adam a lot. He mentioned that he was in Fortnite, like he's the Foundation in Fortnite, where I think the Foundation has like, I don't know, a dozen lines in the game. And whatever, it was just really funny because like I just knew that was what that segment was going to be like, because that's kind of all he ever really does for these things. I imagine that paid a good chunk of money to Jeff and the Summer Games team, so you got to do what you got to do. I can respect that. Past that, they showed a new trailer for Outriders World Slayer, which I thought was really good. I know, like, you got to be kind of an Outriders fan to get hyped by that, but I thought that was a very well put together trailer. They are debuting the new endgame mode, which was not included in my preview play that I did a couple weeks ago. I think I can watch some video about it under embargo till tomorrow, but I haven't done that yet, so I don't actually know what it's about. There's some sort of new endgame mode, like the Trials of something that is supposed to be kind of game changing, and they have a lot of new loot in this expansion, like way more than I thought. Like all the social media account has been doing is just tweeting guns and guns and guns and armor sets from the new expansion. So they really have produced a good amount of content for this, and I'm pretty excited for that because I love Outriders. I think it's great. Then we had one of the weirder showings of the showcase, which was this game called Stormgate, which is from a bunch of ex-Blizzard people. It's like an RTS, and I'm pretty sure they literally used the probe sound effect in this footage, and it seems like what would happen if StarCraft, like, Terrans found demons or something, and there was even something that looked like very close to a Terran Marine in it. I think Ikora's voice actress is doing voice work in there. I swear I heard her in there once I watched that a few more times. I don't know. It just gave me kind of weird vibes, and I feel like in an RTS game you want to show some gameplay so we actually kind of know what that is going to look and feel like. And then, speaking of showing gameplay, we had a very cool cinematic trailer for Marvel Midnight Suns, which is wildly different than the type of game it will actually be. It's like a turn-based combat strategy game like XCOM with superheroes instead, but we just saw a really elaborate cinematic trailer showing all these heroes in their cool gold suits, and then showing like demon versions of Venom and the Hulk, and like I don't really understand the villain in this game. I haven't researched that, but that's apparently who we're fighting. There's a lot of heroes in this. Like, it seems to be a pretty cool cast. Wolverine, Blade, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange. Like, there's going to be a good amount of heroes. I just kind of wish we were getting like a Marvel Heroes game again with, it was like just like a brawler, as opposed to, I'm not like really an XCOM person, so this isn't going to do anything for me. But also, it's very weird in 2022 to just be shown an entirely cinematic trailer with no gameplay. Like, that just, it doesn't mean anything. Like, especially in a game like this where gameplay is not going to be anything like that. I guess I don't know. It's certainly more exciting, I suppose, for like a splashy a reveal like this, but still strikes me as a little weird. And then I'm excited about the potential of Zenless Zone Zero, from the makers of Genshin Impact. They also showed Starlink. Is that it? I didn't even know what that was. I never heard of that, but I have heard of Zenless Zone Zero, which is supposed to be their next kind of major IP and game they're launching. It doesn't really look like an exploration game like Genshin Impact. It looks more like kind of a contained arenas battling game, like a Bayonetta or something. Character designs look really cool. I really like. There was like a fox samurai lady and like a fox dude with jet boots. A lot of foxes. Just foxes are a big theme apparently. But there's like human people, and they've got like Attack on Titan swords and boost jets, like kind of stuff. It looks cool. I really like the vibes of it. It is almost certainly, I'm guessing, a gacha game, so I will have to watch myself that I don't accidentally dump a bunch of money into that. But I, at least we're kind of seeing it in action, and I like Genshin Impact combat, so that is something I'm going to check out. Also, I was very impressed by the Quarry. I only really started hearing about that game like within the past day or so, and it's out tomorrow. So I guess I've just been sleeping on this. This is another horror game from the Supermassive. They made Until Dawn. Until Dawn is a great game. Love that game. And as such, I might play this because I really liked Until Dawn, and this is just, I don't know, it's another horror movie. You're making decisions. They have really well animated, motion captured actors and actresses for this. Looks really cool. I'm pretty excited about it. That seems like it's going to be a big Switch game because there's like antics where you can make goofy decisions and react to the things. I don't know. I expect to see that be big on Twitch for at least like the weekend. So, and then something that I am personally very excited about, the Saints Row boss creator. I am very mixed on whether the new Saints Row game is going to be good or not. I think it was a very bad decision to leave all of the old characters behind that were around for like 5 games and introduce a new bunch of like Gen Z gang people. That said, they are keeping the boss system in place where you can make a truly absurd boss, and they have the brilliant idea to pull a Black Desert Online and just release the character creator online right now. So you can download that on console and Epic Game Store. I have literally already downloaded it on PC. I might do a video just on that. And you can design like a cool looking boss. You can design literally like a vampire or Shrek. Like they have an absurd amount of character creator options. They really leaned into that hard. It was weird. During the first preview event for Saints Row, they didn't show the boss creator at all or even talk about it. And I'm like, you can still do that, right? And yeah, you can. They just, I don't know. They saved that reveal for being entirely separate. So that alone is getting me pretty excited. I'm very curious to check out this creator. I don't know why. I loved creating my boss in all the Saints Row games in various iterations, and I will try and remake her in this one and see how that goes, but we'll see. Finally, poor Jeff had to close with something that was leaked ahead of time, which was the reveal of The Last of Us remake, Last of Us Part 1, which is out this September. The good news is what he showed was still pretty impressive. So they did a few things. They had Neil Druckmann out to talk about The Last of Us Factions 2, which exists. Like, I guess they just reiterated they are still doing that. Some info on that. They said that it was going to be as big as any single-player game they've done. I don't know what that means, length or just like physical size or what, but I think it's San Francisco. I think that's the city they were showing, but it's like unrelated to the main games other than it takes place in the same world. And they showed this concept art for it that looks like, I don't know, a battle royale to some extent. I don't know if it will be a battle royale, but I would expect to see something a little more kind of less basic than just having a battle royale with Last of Us controls. But I guess we'll see. They talked about storytelling in a way, in like a live servicey sort of way in terms of an unfolding story. So it's not just a bunch of people with guns thrown into a thing without any context. So I'm curious about that. It sounds like we're not going to hear more about that till late this year, early next year. I'm not sure. But that was one reveal. He talked about the Last of Us HBO show a little bit. Only showed a still image from that of Bella and Pedro, the actors playing Ellie and Joel. And then had Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson out to talk a little bit about it. They have like supporting roles on the show. One of the stipulations was like they had to be in the show doing something because they have such, they did the iconic portrayals to begin with. They weren't going to recast them, obviously, because they just don't look enough like the characters. But they do have a role on the show. Sounds like we're going to get a trailer for that soon. They just finished filming, and that should be out early next year. I'm not sure, but and then the final reveal was of the Last of Us remake, which leaked, and yet they showed some really, really impressive side-by-side footage of that, where they showed how they kind of did re-rigging on all the animation models with the old facial capture, and like it really looks a lot better compared to the remake, and it's essentially remaking it in like the Last of Us 2 style, where the visual improvements are just vastly improved. Maybe not all the way to that level, but like pretty close, and it looks really good. I don't know. I might actually replay that, honestly, depending on what else is out around then. Like, that is one of my all-time favorite games. I love Part 2, even though that's controversial. But And it has been long enough where I could see myself playing through that again if it's that level of an update to be that kind of transformative. So I'm curious to see that. And then there was no surprise Hideo Kojima reveal at the end there. I figure that's kind of a given with Jeff, but and we had some leaks about Kojima's next projects. Kind of. There's been a lot of leaks for like Norman Reedus leaked Death Stranding 2, and someone else leaked a game called Overdose, which I don't know if that's a code name for something or the actual game. I don't know. We got no announcements. So again, I don't know if there's anything like that was just a total blockbuster in here, like we sometimes get out of the Game Awards or E3. But you know, it was a good show. I certainly don't think it was. I think it was worth watching, and it was at least shorter than the Game Awards because there were no awards, so that shaved like I don't know at least an hour out of it. And I'm gonna watch other events. Well, maybe just a Microsoft event. I'm not sure what other ones there are besides that. So I have to look, but. Microsoft show is a big deal that is probably going to have some significant stuff in it. Hopefully Starfield gameplay, hopefully a new release date. I guess we'll see. But that is what we got from the initial show here. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought about it. Take care. I'll see you later.